Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're jumping straight into something pretty crucial for anyone trying to, well, make waves online in 2025. Finding the right influencer partners. It's definitely a whole new ballgame.
It really is.
Those old school tactics, they're just not quite cutting it anymore, are they?
Not really, no.
And speaking of making waves and boosting your online presence,
Hmm.
if you're aiming to attract those kinds of collaborations yourself, you might want to check out rapidboost.net. It's a resource for, enhancing your own social media profiles.
That's a good point. Being attractive to influencers matters too.
Exactly. Okay, so let's talk about navigating this evolving landscape.
Absolutely. The digital world, it's become incredibly sophisticated and, frankly, a lot more scattered.
Scattered is a good word.
Yeah. Relying on just, simple keyword searches or looking through hashtags. It's like trying to find a needle in a haystack, a huge, constantly changing haystack.
Audiences aren't all in one place.
Not at all. They're thriving in all sorts of corners of the internet now, and they want genuine connections, not just slick ads.
Okay, so our mission today is really to equip you, the listener, with the strategies, the tools you need to confidently find those really impactful partners in 2025.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you're running a big brand or just starting out, this deep dive should give you some actionable stuff.
That's the plan. Influencer marketing, it's not just a trend anymore, is it? It's become like a cornerstone of digital strategy for many.
A necessity, really.
Yeah. And with that comes the need for smarter, more data-driven approaches. That's what we're unpacking.
All right, let's dive in. Why are those traditional methods failing now? What's fundamentally shifted?
Well, the biggest thing is just the sheer number of creators and the platforms they're on.
Platform explosion.
Exactly. You've got the big ones, sure, but then TikTok, YouTube Shorts, they've blown up. Plus all these really specific niche communities.
So the audience is fragmented.
Completely. You might search hashtags on Instagram and totally miss a super influential voice on, say, Discord or even a popular podcast in your niche.
That makes total sense.
Yeah.
It's less about just raw numbers, the total reach,
Yeah.
and more about who they're actually reaching and how strong that connection is.
Precisely. It's resonance over reach.
Cheers.
Does their content, their audience, actually align with your brand's goals? That's the question, not just do they have 1 million followers, which might not mean much for you.
Right.
So the key changes are platform proliferation, like we said. Then the dominance of data analytics are way more advanced, and this big shift towards authenticity over just pretty pictures.
Okay, so if the old wide net searches aren't the answer, what are the smart tools? The platforms helping brands find collaborators now.
The new standard really is AI-powered discovery solutions.
AI, okay.
Yeah, think platforms like Upfluence, Aspire, Tracker, Modash is another one. These aren't just lists of names. They use AI to crunch huge amounts of social data.
And give you what? Better profiles?
Much better. Yeah. Incredibly detailed profiles. It means you can move from, hoping for the best to really lasered focused targeting.
So your budget actually reaches the right people.
Exactly. Highly qualified potential customers, not just a massive, maybe irrelevant audience.
AI for influencer discovery. That feels like a significant jump. What can these tools do that makes them so much better?
They have what are called deep filters. The level of precision is honestly pretty amazing.
Like, give me an example.
Okay, so the article mentioned this. You can specifically look for, say, a TikTok creator who focuses on skincare, is based in Milan, targets the 18 to 24 age group, and has an engagement rate around 7%.
Wow. Okay, that's granular.
Right. That kind of filtering means you're finding someone whose audience interests, engagement, it's almost a perfect match, potentially.
So you're looking through the influencer to their actual audience.
Exactly. These tools provide really in-depth audience analytics. You understand who's really following them, who's interacting.
Demographics, interests.
Yeah, demographics, other interests they have, and critically, they can help spot fake followers or bots. So you're connecting with real, engaged people.
That's huge.
And a lot of them integrate outreach tools, too, which just streamlines the whole process. Discovery to contact, all in one place.
It sounds way more efficient. Avoids those, vanity metrics that don't mean much. Are there other places beyond these big AI platforms we should be looking? Emerging spaces?
Oh, absolutely. The main social platforms are still vital, obviously. But niche platforms can be incredibly valuable, especially for specific communities.
Like what?
Podcasts are a great example. You might find influencers in, say, wellness, or tech, who have smaller audiences, but they are intensely loyal and engaged.
Right, you get that focused attention.
Precisely. And then you have platforms like Discord. These communities built around passions gaming, crypto, specific Gen Z interests.
Okay.
For brands that fit, these can be gold mines for finding those really dedicated micro-influencers, people truly embedded in the culture.
And newsletters. I've heard about that.
Yes. Don't forget newsletter influencers. Independent writers, creators on Substack, places like that, they often have huge sway in areas like CPG, entrepreneurship, lifestyle. Real trust there.
So the trick is figuring out where your ideal customer actually spends their time and attention, not just chasing the biggest follower counts overall.
That is the core of it.
Yeah.
The article actually shared a really cool example. A direct-to-consumer pet brand in Spain.
Okay.
They used an AI tool to find micro-influencers specifically on TikTok and in relevant Discord channels for Spanish pet owners.
And the results.
They got a 300% higher conversion rate compared to when they tried using macro-influencers on Instagram.
Wow, 300%. That really shows the power of targeting.
It absolutely does.
Okay, so let's say we've used these tools. We found some potentials in the right spots. How do we assess them? How do we know if they're truly the right fit? What metrics matter beyond follower count?
Yeah, this is where you need that more nuanced understanding of impact. Like the article stressed, real resonance with your target audience is way more valuable than just getting tons of impressions. This makes sense. An influencer with, say, 10,000 highly engaged followers who match your ideal customer perfectly. They can often deliver much better results than someone with 1 million followers who aren't really interested in your niche.
Right, because a huge number doesn't mean they're listening or likely to buy.
Exactly. That's why engagement rate, looking at comments, shares, saves, actual click-throughs, often trumps just the follower number.
And you mentioned micro-influencers.
Yes, nano and micro-influencers, so maybe 1,000 to 100,000 followers, often have the highest engagement rates. They tend to have that stronger, more personal connection with their community.
Okay, so engagement rate is key. What else should we be digging into?
Audience authenticity. Super important. Tools like Hype Auditor can help flag suspicious follower activity, potential bots.
Right, check for fakes.
Then demographic overlap. Does their audience actually match your target customer? Age, location, interests, buying habits.
Got to check that alignment.
And critically, look at their past collaborations. How did their audience react? Were there real conversations, positive feedback, or did it just fall flat? Would your brand message likely land well with them?
You want proof they can actually partner effectively and authentically.
Absolutely. And one more thing, sentiment analysis.
Okay, what's it?
Modern tools can analyze the language, the tone of an influencer's content. Is it generally positive? Have they waded into controversial topics? Are there potential brand safety risks?
So checking for potential red flags or just misalignment in values.
Exactly. Making sure their voice, their overall vibe aligns with your brand's mission and reputation. Crucial.
Okay, this is great. We found promising people, check the metrics, they seem aligned. Now, how do we actually reach out effectively? It feels like influencers must get spammed constantly.
They do, which is why personalization is absolutely non-negotiable now. Generic copy-paste outreach, it just gets deleted.
So no more mass emails hoping someone bites.
Yeah.
Definitely not. Before you even think about writing that first message, do your homework. Really look at their recent content. What are the themes? What's their style, their tone? Note their recent brand collabs. How did the audience react? And look for genuine personal touch points. Mention a specific post or video you liked and why.
Show you've actually paid attention.
Exactly. Show you're a real person who values their specific work, not just their follower count.
Makes sense. And what about the offer? Is it always just about money?
It's often part of it, yes, but think bigger about the value exchange. What else can you offer? Early access to products, cross-promotion on your channels, maybe more creative freedom than other brands offer, or the potential for a longer-term partnership.
So framing it as a real partnership, not just a transaction.
That's the key.
Yeah.
And when you reach out, have a clear brief ready.
Yeah.
Context about your brand, your goals, any key messages. But, and this is important, leave room for their creativity, their creators. Let them create in their style.
Right. Don't stifle them. The article mentioned that sustainable fashion label example again. They partnered with eco-conscious micro-influencers long-term, like an ambassadorship. Result: 40% higher brand recall than just one-off posts.
That long-term point seems really important. Building relationships.
Absolutely. In 2025, thinking of influencers as partners, not just contractors for a campaign, is vital for sustained impact. Short-term collabs are fine, but real relationships build trust, consistency, and a much bigger effect over time.
So how do we actually cultivate those long-term relationships, keep them going?
Open communication. Be clear up front, but also listen to their feedback. Share performance data, let them see what's working.
Transparency.
Celebrate the wins together, acknowledge their contribution publicly, and, nurture the relationship even when there isn't an active campaign. Send relevant products, invite them to things. Small gestures matter.
It sounds like building any good professional relationship, really.
It is. That beverage startup story in the article is great. Year-long ambassador program with fitness nano-influencers. They involved them in product discussions, did joint live streams.
Built a real partnership.
Exactly. And it led to doubled conversion rates and good PR mentions. It pays off.
This is incredibly helpful. Okay, let's try and boil it down. What are the key actionable steps for finding and partnering with the best influencers in 2025?
Okay, let's summarize. It's kind of a 7-step process, roughly. 1. Define your goals and really profile your target audience. Be specific.
Know who you're trying to reach.
2. Choose your platforms wisely. Where does that audience actually hang out?
Go where they are.
3. Select and use those smart discovery tools, probably AI-powered ones.
Leverage the tech.
4. Vet rigorously. Content analytics, audience authenticity, brand fit, sentiment, past work. Dig deep.
Don't just look at the surface.
5. Personalize your outreach. Show genuine interest, offer real value, make it a win-win.
Make it human.
6. Foster real relationships. Think long-term partnership, not just one-off deals.
Build trust.
And 7. Track, learn, optimize. Monitor campaigns beyond just impressions. Understand the real impact and adjust.
Got it. So it's really shifted. It's not just about finding the biggest megaphone anymore.
Not at all.
It's clarity on goals, strategic discovery, using tech smartly, building trust, and really understanding who can create that genuine connection with your specific audience.
Exactly. It's about intention in every partnership. Prioritizing alignment, valuing influencers as collaborators.
Right. It's about recognizing their creative value.
Precisely. So maybe the final thought for you, the listener, is this. As you look at the landscape, don't just ask, who has the biggest audience?
Ask.
Ask, who can create the deepest connection with my ideal customer? That question. That's what will lead you to the truly impactful partnerships in 2025 and beyond.